Welcome to Black Talk Today podcast. And I'm Troy, your host. This is the first video here on this particular YouTube channel, Black Talk Today podcast. If you are a subscriber to my other YouTube channel, Black Talk Today, welcome. Glad you were able to find yourself over here. This is where the podcast will be now hosted. And we got a lot to get into today in this particular podcast, a lot of things to talk about. And I hope you guys are excited and up to the actual challenge because I'm more than ready to get into these topics. Listen, I'm going to be speaking truthful and honest and real. That's something I'm known for. That's something that I take great privilege in doing. And again, these are just my opinions. But I think a lot of people are going to be able to identify with how I feel and the sentiment that I feel on these various topics that I'm going to be addressing and talking about, from the Charlamagne Tha God and Kwame Brown fiasco that's going on. It's crazy. And of course, from the Olivia Dope, Joe Budden situation, the fallout and everything that's been transpiring between those two and all of the allegations that have been levied against either or. It's just been a very interesting week, and I've been noticing within the entertainment business, there's been folks choosing sides. There's been folks that are, not believing these women who are actually coming out and alleging abuse. And I kind of find that quite interesting because, in one hand, in the case of Charlamagne Tha God, this cat would go on, live TV or podcast and quite openly joke about, basically drugging women and then, having his way with them and making light of the situation. And I never co-signed that. I never thought that that was something funny. I never thought that a man of his stature and means would need to do that. But it was a red flag to me because I'm like, well, why would he continuously keep doing it? And no one would check him on it. Now, mind you, he's on the Breakfast Club, which is a radio syndicate, very popular show. And, they do their numbers. You know what I mean? They do their thing. Everyone pretty much listens to, that particular channel for the entertainment that Charlamagne and his co-hosts bring, DJ Envy and Angela Yee. And, even though the allegations that have been made against Charlamagne Tha God up until this particular point, which are raping of a 15-year-old girl almost 17 years ago, where he was 22 years old, she was 15, and also the recent fact that he actually pled out to a lesser charge is another red flag for me that, it didn't just sit well with me. It didn't sit well with me. It wasn't something that I felt I could overlook. But I realized that this information was out there for a long time. And the information that Kwame Brown has been revealing to us is information that has been readily known by the masses. And I think for the most part, a lot of us just decided to just overlook it and just look at him as for what he is doing now. And, he's a celebrity and he has all these connections and, he's doing so much for the black culture, but not understanding that this man has seriously affected someone for the rest of their life. And this woman that is continuously being traumatized due to the fact that he has still have not taken accountability for what happened and occurred to her 17 years ago, in the fact that he's going on national TV and radio stations that's syndicated all across the nation to make light of exploiting women to the manner in which he has done, is one of the most deplorable things that a man could do or that anybody can do. And I just think that, it's about time that we start really looking into things and looking into people for what they are and believing them and also taking action against them. This man goes on this show and basically talks about everyone's dirty laundry. And the people that he's talking about, the information that he might have received about these individuals, they might not have wanted that information to get out. It could possibly be some, family damaging or life changing information that he's releasing or talking about to the entire world. And now the entire world is aware of it. And what if they didn't want that to come out? Could they have put up a cease and desist order like he has put up against Kwame Brown and others who are talking about the rape that he more likely than not, at this point in time, committed years ago? Something about the guy I just can't respect, and that's just my opinion. But I see folks are still willing to rock with him and still not speak out against him, even after video of the victim speaking out, the mother speaking out, and also him copping to a lesser charge. I don't see how someone of his nature or his caliber gets to still operate with impunity in the black community, and we look at him as someone that's honorable. Now, I understand this is the music business. You know, you pay people off, you pay them enough money, they close their mouth. But Jessica Reed has said time and time again that she doesn't want Charlamagne Tha God's money. She just wants him to be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. And I played a video on my channel. You can go subscribe to it at Black Talk Today, where basically she described event and moment for moment what actually happened. And, we're in the middle of this Me Too movement. Bill Cosby has been sentenced pretty much for life at this particular moment, at this particular point, because he's a senior citizen. So whatever years he get is more likely to be a life sentence for him because he doesn't have that much long to live. But you have women coming out 30, 40 years ago making allegations of rape and abuse and drugging them. And he was put behind bars without any kind of evidence of the kind, but just mere allegations from the countless women who have come up and spoken up on their behalf of alleging the abuse that they experienced from Bill Cosby. But now you have this one black woman who's now like, hey, look, this man abused me. This man took advantage of me. He took advantage of me. Not only did he take advantage of me, he allowed his friends that was there to take advantage of me. And we have nothing to say about it other than, she's lying. I was listening to Queen's Flip, and, this guy, he speaks on topics that he doesn't even have any kind of information on other than hearsay. He doesn't do his research. He doesn't try to understand the perspective and the outlook on how it's going to look for himself if he speaks on things, if they're not politically correct or they're not even correct just factually. He just impulsive speaker, and he gets likes and people that go over there, subscribe to his channel and think it's funny. But I don't find rape funny. I don't find rape something that you need to make light of or take light of. It's a very serious topic for men and women, because men are raped as well too, just as much as women are raped. But it just goes unreported because as a man, we don't feel as confident and comfortable coming out saying another man took advantage of us. Even if the rape occurred when we were a child and we're now addressing the topic as an adult or addressing the issue as an adult, we still don't feel comfortable enough because we feel like our masculinity is on the line if we admit something like that, as if we could have stopped a grown man from taking advantage of you when you were a child. But without a doubt, I don't have any shadow of a doubt that Jessica Reed was absolutely raped and took advantage of by Charlamagne Tha God. And not only that, he knew this young girl. And my thing is, what 22-year-old man hangs around with a 15-year-old female? Now, I get it. The mother alleged, and she also alleged that they were friends. And maybe so. Maybe they were friends. Maybe she was a close friend of maybe his sister, and then they became friends. I don't know how they became friends. I'm just assuming on that part. But they were friends. And if that's the case, okay, at any rate, okay, that's your friend. Why would you then bring your friend to a party that's occupied by a predominant group of men. There's more men than women there. You giving her alcoholic beverages, knowing that she's underage and she can't legally drink. You can. Then you also drugging the drink or putting some type of extra, sedative in the drink. You literally planned this. You knew what time it was before you even brought her there. You knew what the intentions were, or what the game plan was that you had in mind for this 15-year-old girl. And I just find it very disgusting. Not only is this man married, this man has children. This man has a whole wife, and she hasn't even spoke out about any of this. And I would have really liked to hear what she thought of her husband. She's a black woman as well. And while she might not have been around or there at the moment and could have done anything at the moment to stop him from doing that because they probably didn't know each other at the time, you're married to this man now. You're attached to this man at the hip until you divorce him. People are going to look at you shady and sideways, because there's been times where he would go on Power 105 in the morning radio show, and he'll talk about how he slept with you, his current wife, and you were passed out or something to some degree, and you didn't know what was going on with you, and he then asked his co-workers, is that rape? And again, my thing is, what man would move like this? What respectable man moves like this? And why does he still get to remain to have a platform if he's not even credible? He's a predator. I don't know what predator or what person that continuously laughs and jokes on a podcast and on a radio show about taking advantage of women. I just find that to be very, very suspect. But again, there's a lot of people co-signing him. There's a lot of people coming to his defense like, hey, he didn't do it. This woman is lying. And Queen's Flip happened to be one of those cats that was just asking a whole bunch of dumb questions. But if he would have just done some research and said, hey, hold on, let me do my research before I speak. I have a platform of over 200,000 followers. Clearly, they see something in me that's worthwhile, that they stay there watching my content. Before I speak on this matter that's very real and very sensitive, let me do some research, because I don't want to disparage the victim. Didn't do that. Didn't take the time to do that. Didn't want to do that. And, I'm glad that Kwame Brown has come out, a man that isn't owned by any industry, that isn't beholden to any job, a man that's going to speak the truth and speak it in a way that we're not used to hearing it, because there's been an attack on masculinity in America. If you're too masculine, if you're too proud, if you're too, confident of yourself as a man, society is always looking to try to find a way to knock you back down, especially if you're a black man. It seems like black men, we got to stay in our place and play our role. And if we play outside of that role, somebody got to come and check us and put us back in that role. And I was just glad, and it was a breath of refreshing air to hear Kwame Brown speak on this particular situation, because Charlamagne attacked him out the blue by disparaging his father, his family, how violent they are, and then also claiming that Kwame Brown is somewhat mentally disturbed. I mean, you don't do that about people. See, what I've noticed in the entertainment business, whether it's an athlete or whether it's some form of singer or socialite or, rapper or podcast or whatever, and you're black, we typically always have all the smoke for other black people. When it comes to other black people, we will give them all the smoke and not think anything of it, and then dare them to challenge us. So we'll go to any degree that we need to go to, even if it is going too far to prove our point, but also to damage, to tarnish another black man's reputation. And that's exactly what Charlamagne Tha God attempted to do by speaking on Kwame Brown. When Kwame Brown wasn't even speaking to Charlamagne Tha God, he was speaking to Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes. And I've been seeing this also all across the nation, especially within the sports industry, where we get black analysts that get up there and they say the most damaging things about black men. They challenge black men in no other way. But when it comes to a white man, they will not challenge them. They won't challenge these young white athletes that can't play. But whenever there's a black athlete that's failing, that should be better than what he's projecting to be, and what he's showing, there's always a black person that's willing to come in and shoot him down. But when it comes to a white person, they're not as quick and eager to give that same energy off. So there's a double standard. So I definitely understand where Kwame Brown is coming from. You got a lot of blacks that are front runners, that's yes, boss men, and that's all they've been, that's all they want to be. They're looking for an opportunity to come up. And my thing is, we got to point these guys out like Kwame Brown has done and let them know you don't mean well for us. You don't have our best intentions at hand. Your action shows that you don't really care for us. You don't really feel that you are connected to us, and you will go to whatever degree it takes or you need to go to prove that point time and time again. I've been saying this for years, that we need to cancel celebrities and any kind of athlete and don't allow them to be the representation of our race, because they don't necessarily are credible people in the first place. Once you paid by a corporation, once you paid for by another entity mass amounts of money, there's nothing that you wouldn't do to continue to keep that mass amount of money to come in. Even if it means compromising your race so that you can earn more for yourself and your family. Because it's a dog-eat-dog world. It's a everyday, every man for himself mentality. So I'm not surprised that, you have a bunch of analysts and men out there and women out there also that'll get out there and buck dance and coon for the sake of appeasing your master, someone that's writing you your check. And I think that's very counterproductive to anything that we're trying to do as a race. But we don't get to have these conversations because a lot of brothers are not willing or are afraid to speak up and speak the truth because they don't want to get canceled. So I totally get it. I totally understand where Kwame Brown is coming from, and I commend the guy. I commend the guy 1,000%. Again, black masculinity is something that this society does not want to deal with and will not deal with. And apparently within our own race, we won't deal with it. We're not willing to deal with it. We'd rather have some beta males, men that's going to walk around and be led by women and adhere to anything a woman says to appease them should be their only cause for living, it seems. And time again, we see that narrative being promoted within our community, and we wonder why our boys grow up to not be ain't shit men that can't fold make a bed or fold a blanket, that can't keep a steady 9-to-5 job, that don't have any kind of ambition, that don't have any kind of integrity, and we wonder why our young boys move the way they move. Well, it starts at home, but it also starts at what you putting and storing in here. What you installing in someone's brain is going to be highly connected to what they become and what they believe as they age and get older. So I just want folks to know that. I want folks to know that. And before you judge somebody and say, well, they're guilty of this or guilty of that, get some facts first. There's nothing wrong with doing your research. I'd rather cut once and measure twice. Wouldn't you? Or would you rather cut 3 times and measure 10 times? That's making the job a lot harder than it needs to be. But also, I'm here to bring credibility back to my channel and to my people and to my group at the end of the day. Of course, I've been called a coon. I've been called a sellout because I am a bit conservative. I do speak on things that are not in acceptance of a lot of the things that go on within the black culture, because I want to see things change. But I feel fundamentally my plan is to address the things that are wrong so that we can then correct them, so we don't have to continuously do them again, instead of just turning a blind eye and being so willing to overlook things. That has been very catastrophic to us. And I think that ultimately needs to change at some point in time. But what I found quite interesting also is that since YouTuber Kevin Samuel has come on the scene and has been shedding light on particularly the circumstances of a lot of black women within our race, right? Especially the unrealistic expectations that a lot of black women have of themselves when they're looking to date, when they're looking to find a mate, when they're, have multiple children by multiple men, and they're in their mid-30s going into their 40s, and they're looking for a man. They're looking for someone to come in and father their children. They're looking for someone to be committed and settle down with them. And then they wonder why the men that are qualified in quality don't want them. It's because, first of all, you've wasted your best years of your life with the wrong men. I say it time and time again. I think when it comes to our race of women, I would like to say about maybe 60 to 70% of black women in the black race, they choose the wrong type of men. And the men that they should be given the opportunity to, they don't. You see it time and time again. It's always the guy that dresses flashy, that has the name brand clothes, that's very ingratiated himself with the materialistic things that attract black women. And also, if he's ignorant, if he has nothing, that also plays a part into the attractiveness that some black women have to men of that nature. What I've noticed is that, and this is from my own personal experiences when dating black women, I can't speak for all, so I won't generalize, but the experiences that I had and the ones that I continuously keep running into and I can't seem to change my favor, is that when you are a black man and you are self-sufficient and independent and you are headstrong and you are confident, that's a turnoff to some of these black women because they realize that they can't do nothing for you. They can't hold anything over your head. They can't provide a place for you to stay. They can't put money in your pocket. You don't want to drive their car. And you don't want to accept the fact that they have multiple children. So that puts them in a situation where they get defensive or they just try to use you for what they can get you for. But also, most of the time, these women also say they want good men. Most of the time, these women say that they're single, they're looking to settle down, and they're dating with a purpose. Most of the time, that is a goddamn lie. I'm here to tell you that right now. You go on any of these dating apps, and you'll read a whole bunch of profiles that sound good, but if you don't look the way you need to look to them in their eyes, that's a no bueno. That's a no-go. They would not give you the time and day. You can, I'm telling you, it's the most superficial shit and the superficial things amongst our women that keep them single and never married. Their expectations and realization of what makes them happy, they don't even know. They don't even know. They don't want to even accept a man, that's a leader, that takes the head role. They won't accept that. They want to be the lead in the role, the leader in that role, and they want to dictate the direction the relationship goes in. They want to control you. But when they meet a man of my stature, or meet a man that's not into that wants to be what the epitome of a man is, y'all don't want to give them the time of day. But you give the guy that doesn't have a job, you give the guy that doesn't have a future, you give the guy that has multiple children, and you'll be 35 years old looking to settle down, and you will settle for this guy knowing he means no good to you. But because of the guy that has his standards, the guy that's going to hold you accountable, the guy that actually brings something to the table, isn't going to go for anything that you deal with as far as the BS, as far as the excuse making, and hold you to the same standard you're holding him to, you don't want to deal with that kind of pressure. And that's what I've noticed in my personal experiences when dating black women. You get them when they're in their 30s. They got their 2 kids, 3 kids, 4 kids. And now they want the faithful man. They want the man to settle down. They want the man to have a job. Well, most of the time, that man that you want at 35, you could have had him at 20. You could have had him at 22. You could have had him at 25. But because you was young and you was popping and your body was still tight and fresh, you felt like you was missing out on something if you was to settle down or commit to one man. You feel like you was missing out if you was to marry somebody after you graduate college and you get your career. You didn't want to settle down at that point. You wanted to do you and live your best life because you're young, you're spry. You don't want to waste your body on one man when you can be sharing it with a whole bunch of others. Am I lying? That's what I've noticed. That's what I peeped. And then now when you're 35, 40, the man that you want, that man of quality, he doesn't want you. He doesn't want to deal with your baggage of your kids. He doesn't want to deal with the fact that you've been psychologically damaged because you've been cheated on since you've had your first child and you've never had a substantial, functional, positive relationship ever in your life. So he don't want to deal with all of that baggage when he's not bringing that baggage to the table. It kills me because I've heard black women say to me, it seems like there's a shortage of single, available, respectable black men. And I would like to tell black women that's a lie. You're likely to find more black women with children, multiple children, by several different men, than you'll find black men with multiple children with several different women. You're more likely to find a single black man with no children or maybe one child before you find a black woman with no children in their 30s. So the black men are there. The black men are there. But y'all don't want those kind of black men. You want to be cheated on. You want to be dogged out. You want to spend your best years with a jerk. You want to spend your best years committed to a felon. And then once you come to that kumbaya moment, and then you say, wow, this guy really isn't shit. Let me really start hunting down for what I want, and you can't find it. So that brings me to the simping, right? And y'all know I'm not a simp. I'm anti-simp to every degree of the actual word. But listen, at any rate, simp is going to exist. And simps is only here to put up and deal with anything a woman is willing to throw at them. Because they're desperate. Either they never had any woman that was any good to them, or they never had or never not used to having any kind of women acknowledge them or appreciate them or show them any kind of interest. So what they'll do is they'll spend their money on these women that they know are not even worth it. But because that woman is showing them the very little interest, the very little love, or hell, even giving them some ass to a degree, that's all they need to do. There's a woman, and she's Chief Keef's former baby mama, right? And even that in itself sounds crazy, right? She goes by the name of Slim Danger. And if that isn't a hell of a name to go by, when you hear that as a man, that this woman's name is Slim Danger, any woman with the name Danger attached to it, red flag for me. Ring the bell, turn the lights on in the house, stop the call. Who the hell is this? At least that's what be going through my mind. Like, who the hell is this? But apparently she's been getting around like Tupac. I get around, round and round, round and round, because she's been through the gamut of industry, rappers, entertainers, and she slept around. And she's not anything of any substantial that looks good. Like, she's not somebody that's like, oh my God, look at this woman. Like, she's bad. Like, it's not like that. She's not moving like that. That's all I'm saying. I'm not throwing shade or nothing like that. I'm just saying shorty's not popping like that. But these guys are still willing to screw her. Well, you know who recently screwed her? Wouldn't believe. NBA player Tristan Thompson. You know who Tristan Thompson is, right? He has a baby with Khloe Kardashian, one of the Kardashians. And she broke up with him because he apparently couldn't keep his penis in his pants. Yeah. And my thing is, these celebrities, they have access to any woman they want, pretty much. Not only are you wealthy, influential, you have generational wealth, you can open doors that most men can't open with your wealth due to your talent. Yet and still, you guys still choose the most disgusting women to ever sleep with. You choose the women of low-hanging fruit to sleep with. Like, it's nothing wrong with having sex. There's nothing wrong with, if you're a man and you want to get your shit off, you want to have a good time, there's nothing wrong with that. Even as a woman, there's nothing wrong with that. But my thing is, you ever heard the saying, the grass isn't always greener on the other side? And if the grass is greener on the other side, you got to ask yourself, what did it take for it to get that green? And what is it going to take for it to stay that green? And I think that's a fair question to ask. But Tristan Thompson, he doesn't care because he apparently flew Slim Danger out to California, and he slept with her. But not only did he sleep with her, he wrote her a check for like 15 grand. And you would think, okay, well, he paid for the service and he got what he paid for. What's the big deal? Well, here's the big deal. He canceled the check after she left. So, now she's going to run you through the ringer now, because she's going to go to all these little black women empowerment podcasts, or these little websites, and these women that's just hunting to tear down black men, or just to point out how, black men are simps. And there's a lot of black men that are simps that are multimillionaires. A fool will always part with his money, but at any rate. So Slim Danger then goes and she's talking about this shit. She's talking about it. She goes to Selena Powell and she's talking about what happened. And the men that she's claimed that she slept with is crazy. Because these are some men that you guys look up to. These are men that have children. These are, well-known rappers and things of that nature that you guys listen to their music. And for me, it just makes me look at these guys differently. I'm not questioning their talent or saying that they can't rap or anything like that. And not saying that I would no longer listen to their music. But my thing is, on a personal time, I see what you're doing. I see what you're investing your time and your money in. You're investing your time and your money into giving your money away to prostitutes, to thoughts. This woman has no shame. Because not only did she sleep with Tristan Thompson, she also revealed how many celebrities paid for her to have an abortion because they didn't want her to have their baby. You see how disgusting this is? These guys are all sleeping. I'm not going to say all, but a lot of these rappers are sleeping with the same popular thoughts, Instagram models, because if this popular rapper slept with her, well, he got some clout. People looking at him strange, and for whatever reason, within the black culture, the more bodies a woman got by a celebrity, the more popular that woman becomes. So then the more celebrity men want to then sleep with that woman that got more bodies by celebrity men. And my thing is, somebody's lying here because somebody got to have a disease. Because this woman has claimed she's done had abortion after abortion by some of the top artists that you guys wouldn't believe in. I'm like, well, ain't nobody strapping up. I'm just saying, like, ain't nobody putting on no condoms. Like, we just sitting here going in raw. I mean, so listen, she's Chief Keef's baby mom, so you know he went in raw. Chief Keef seemed like he going any woman raw, any person that he can go in raw that he get a chance. Like, I don't think he saw a woman that he didn't want going raw, because he got a whole bunch of kids himself, along with him, along with, you know, NBA YoungBoy. For whatever reason, these young guys don't understand how child support will be on your ass. Once this rap money stop, and if you don't got no plan B, you're going to be a regular Joe in the street. Forget all them rap songs that you got. All them kids, they're going to be taking them royalties. But that's for a whole nother video. So she's claimed she slept with Little Dirt. Made him get an abortion. He made her get an abortion, excuse me. She slept with the baby. He made her get an abortion. I mean, I'm just trying to, like, out of all the women to sleep with, why would you want to sleep with the celebrity pass around? But then again, the celebrity pass around is glorified today. There's nothing wrong with being the thought, because the women today are co-signing and defending thoughts. This woman brags about all of the celebrity men that she slept with and how she got an abortion, but they paid good money to fuck her. No one says, well, maybe this woman maybe needs mental health. No one says Tristan Thompson or the black men that sleep with this woman maybe need some kind of mental health evaluation. I think they all do, if you ask me. But I mean, good God. I mean, she's not even attractive. She doesn't have any talent. I wouldn't walk down the street with her. But also, you got all these bodies. All these abortions. You know that's scarring your body inside, right? That's damaging your body. You letting all these men run up in you raw and just bust off in you. I mean, you should just swallow. I mean, I don't want to sound too graphic, but I mean, that'll save you the trip to the doctor and the trip from going through that experience. But this sounds like legalized prostitution. But then again, it's highly acceptable today in this particular industry. And then women say, well, hey, I'm getting my coin. Don't tell me nothing. Why are you hating on me? My thing is, if black people, we're supposed to love ourselves and we're supposed to love who we are as people. We're supposed to be these kings and queens, especially to the black women. Why y'all aborting your kids at such a high rate? Not even just her. But if you look at the statistics, black women are aborting their children at such a high rate that you wouldn't even believe. And my thing is, if you don't want to have children, why are you having unprotected sex? But then why are you putting yourself in a situation where you can possibly be a single parent, especially if you feel that the man that you're sleeping with may not be a father to your child, that you can, in the back of your mind, easily abort his child and not think anything of it, why would you even deal with somebody on that level in the first place? But see, if you ask that question, it comes back to personal accountability. And for whatever reason, that's something that's highly avoided for whatever reason. But I think this woman is trifling. I think Tristan Thompson is trifling. I think any man that is sleeping with a woman like this is trifling. Because I don't see what you would get out of it. Where do you come from? What's the benefit? What's the gain? Because you're going to lose more than you're going to gain if you're a man. Because she's going to go run her mouth. It's not like she's a woman that you can, hey, look, we got an arrangement. We're going to do what we do. I'm going to break you off. And that's just the arrangement that we have. We're going to be both grown folks about this. There's nothing wrong with what we're doing. As long as we do it responsibly, where we're not creating children, we're not passing each other any STDs, we're strapping up. And we ain't going to be messy. We're not going to catch feelings, and we're going to keep it moving. But y'all don't even have that kind of relationship. She doesn't even want that kind of relationship. She wants to sleep with as many celebrities as she can and then have dirt on them. This is where we at. But what's sad is this kind of culture is perpetuated throughout the black community, and there's simp black men that think this is normal. This isn't normal. This isn't normal for a man to pay $15,000 for a woman to come sleep with him, to fly her out to where he's at, and then to sleep with her. When he got a whole baby mama that looks like Khloe Kardashian. Because if anything, I'll sleep with Khloe Kardashian again. If I was Tristan Thompson. Why would I want to sleep with a well-known thought? Why would I want to sleep with a well-known pass-around? She's a jump-off. She's a whole throwaway. Why would I want to put myself out there to be questioned in the media? Now I'm looking crazy. I'm looking like a Thirst McGirt out here. I'm just paying for pussy. Who wants to look like that? But again, you have a lot of beta males, a lot of simps that they got the money. They just don't got the attention that they want from the women that they with, or they just can't get the women that they want, or they just can't be faithful men at the end of the day. That's what it also comes down to. I can't hold or expect to hold women accountable, but then not expect to hold men accountable as well. Don't work like that. You literally going behind another dude and another dude and another dude each and time you sleep with Slim Danger. You guys never heard of Superhead? It's disgusting. But they do it for clout. Anything for clout. But then this is the same kind of women that you got to respect and you got to call her a lady. This is the same woman that's going to have kids, but no man is going to want to be around to be the father to the kid. This is the very same. She's never going to be married. Who's going to marry this woman? She's going to have to be saved in Jesus Christ, become a Jehovah Witness, be baptized again in her 40s or 45 and 50s. She's going to be sanctified. She's going to become religious. And next thing you know, it's going to be a 360. She's going to be going to church, reading the Bible every day, talking about how she ain't the same woman, how she's looking for a good man. And it's going to be a simp that's going to look past all of her prior transgressions and say, I'll sign up. I'll take care of all your kids, all of maybe the STDs that you allegedly may have in your body, all of the wear and tear that these men are 6'9", 6'8". You know they working with something. Ramming your ass for the last decade and a half. And now I got to come behind that and deal with you? I mean, I would have told her, look, man, you can give me some head, but that's some pussy you can keep. You see what I'm saying? I would have said, look, shorty, the most you can do, you can top me off and then just break out. But I ain't hitting. I ain't running my Johnson in no goddamn blender. You don't know what's gonna come out. Man, you running your joint through her walls, and you pull out, and you like, yo, what's all these bumps on my shit? Like, yo, what's all this shit on me? She talking about it's pre-cum. Nah, that ain't no pre-cum. This shit ain't supposed to be all red. My shit turning red and swollen now and starting to pus up. It ain't supposed to look like that after sex. That's what I'm saying, guys. We gotta be real, man. I think at the end of the day, fellas, we gotta want to settle down with women. We gotta want to be one man, women again at some point in time. I'm not saying all of us gotta move like that. But we got to also make it okay if men decide and want to be monogamous with one woman and settle down, and that's all he wants to be with. That's also cool too. We can't just popularize, yo, we knocking down everything. Everything with a fat ass, we hitting. Everything that we see that's hot and popping and tight, we hitting. Nah, we got to show some kind of restraint when it comes to dealing with women and realize that it's not, everything doesn't always need to have an experience. Everything doesn't always need to be touched. And I think that's something that we really rarely discuss within the black race. Sex. We don't get those conversations at home. And most of the time we get those conversations, it's too goddamn late. Because guess what? I wonder how Chief Keef kids is going to feel when they get older and they see like, your mom's was out here. Your dad was a simp. Daddy was a simp, but your mom's was out here. Because when she's 30, 35, 40, she's not going to have that same body she had when she's 20, 22. Them titties is going to be on your knees. Your ass is going to be on your thighs. And the attractiveness ain't going to be there. You're not going to be able to pull the same men. You're going to be bitter. You're going to be hating your life. You're going to be hating yourself that you wasted your best years being a promiscuous person instead of valuing yourself and your character and who you are as a woman and realizing that, yo, I don't got to entertain everybody. No, I don't got to do that. But, again, This is some of the things that some of these women live for. And what's sad is that y'all know Larissa Pippen, right? Larissa Pippen is Scottie Pippen's old wife. When I say old, she's like 46. She's damn near going to be 50 years old, right? And she's been with Scottie Pippen for years. They got kids that are like grown and teenagers. Like, Scottie Pippen put his bid in. You see what I'm saying? It was like, I'm going to wife you. And for whatever reason, they broke up. And since they broke up, you would think, well, this woman is 47 years old, going to be 50 soon. The most sensible thing for her to do is, yo, you know what? If I'm going to date, if I'm going to deal with anybody, due to the fact that my husband is such a high-profile Hall of Fame basketball player, if I'm going to date somebody and deal with somebody that's on my level. Somebody that's not going to put me out there to look crazy. And immediately, she started to deal with Future. And you know, Future got a bunch of kids. Future going to make a song about you. You break up with him. Future toxic like a motherfucker, right? But you go from Scottie Pippen, a multi-millionaire NBA Hall of Famer, that you've had kids with and you've been with for over a decade. And then you go to a rapper that's known for just moving around and sleeping from women and women and women and women. And that's who you decide to hitch your wagon to at this age? So she did. But see, my thing is, a lot of women think still, at that age of 47 years old, I can still pull a 30-something young man, a younger man than me that's popping that these young girls want. I'm still in competition, viable competition, that these young girls are in with. I can pull the very same man that a 25-year-old girl can pull. And that's not the truth, man. You can be laid by the 25-year-old man that these 25-year-old girls can pull. He'll lay you, he'll screw you. But will he commit to you? No, he won't commit to you. You're 47 years old. What experience could you offer him that you haven't already offered Scotty? You already had Scotty kids. He not going to come up here and wife you. Very bad situation to put yourself in, but so she did. But she didn't stop there. She didn't stop there at all. She wanted another basketball player, so she then got with another young man. And she got with Malik Beasley. And they were fucking around. And apparently they broke up. But Malik Beasley had a whole wife at the time. And this is what I mean, like, you're married. When you marry a woman, that means that you're committing yourself exclusively to that woman in that family. That means that, hey, look, I'm yours, you're mine, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to ensure that this sanctity between us remains intact. I'm going to be a stand-up guy to you and my kids that come along with this family, and I'm going to ensure that I'm going to do my best to do right by you. That used to be the premise that men used to take. But then again, women used to offer men something that's worthy of protecting and worthy of committing to. But that's for a whole nother video. Michael Beasley, you were married. I get it, you was estranged from your wife, but I don't even believe in being estranged from your wife. But then again, look, I've never been married, right? I would hope to be married one day. I don't know if it would happen. You know, I'm very headstrong, confident. Not going to go for nobody else's shenanigans and BS. I offer a lot, but see, I hold women to a standard that I hold myself to. Accountability, respect, integrity, loyal, dedication, value. And I have not been able to run across a woman that is respecting of those things that I've just mentioned. Now, maybe if I hit Powerball, maybe they can become that way. I tell you, the thing money makes people do. Like, money will make a mother change their whole shit around. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can go from being a whole thot to being a whole housewife if a motherfucker got enough money. You see what I'm saying? Or a man can go from being a whole hoe out here, you see what I'm saying, to be a whole stand-up man, to stand by his family if that woman got enough money. But Michael Beasley is a multimillionaire, right? NBA player. So he cheats on his wife with Larissa Pippen. Cheats on her, and Larissa Pippen allegedly says that he cheats on her, leaves the kids, leaves her with no money. He just breaks out and, you know, I'm with Larissa over here. I'm living my best life. I don't know how you do that as a man. You already got a maid family over here. You see some new booty you want to deal with. You just break out and not take care of home first before you break out. That's allegedly what happened. That's allegedly what Larissa Pippen is alleging, because Michael Beasley has since gone on Instagram and has apologized to his wife. And I'm like, bro, first of all, why are you apologizing on social media? Like, you've been cheating on your wife, bro, in the public. You trying to get your wife back? Going on social media, apologizing to her on social media ain't the way to do it. What you got to do, you got to win her trust back, win her respect back, earn her respect back, earn her trust back. Make her feel like you would never do that shit again. Make her feel like your family is the center of everything that exists within your life that means anything to you. But not going on social media capping, talking about you broke it off with Larissa Pippen. Because you know what Larissa Pippen going to do? She's not married to Scotty. She's a whole 47-year-old woman trying to compete with young women out there with the very same men. She going to go on the gram too. She's going to go on the gram too. And so she did. What you think she going to say? What you think Larissa Pippen going to say? Peep this. I'm going to read to you guys what Larissa Pippen had to say about Malik Beasley on her Instagram after Malik Beasley went on Instagram to apologize to his wife and to try to get back with her. But I'm going to read Larissa Pippen's response, and then I'm going to read Malik Beasley's apology to his wife after he left Larissa Pippen. Let's get into this. So Larissa Pippen says, "Hey, sweetie, I can spend a day going back and forth with you." Now, he's responding to Malik Beasley's estranged wife that he's trying to get back with. That's who she's responding to on Instagram. But let me read it. I digress. She says, "Hey, sweetie, I can spend a day going back and forth with you on the internet, but women to women, I would never do that, especially over a man. But here's some free press for you. Let me clear some of the misinformation you shared as facts. Here's the truth about Malik. 1, when I thought about him and how he treated your child, he's not the type of man I wanted around mine. Any man who would deny his child and then leave the mother penniless is not a real man. 2, he cried entirely too much. 3, he's cheap, but then again, you never saw any alimony, so you already knew that. Since you wanted to speak woman to woman on social media, let me give you some womanly advice. If you ever find another man who wants you for you and not all your free press, I'm giving both of you. Lock him down. Malik was a clout chaser who pursued me relentlessly before I even knew you existed. And I have the DMs, but then again, he knows that. Lastly, and please don't take this wrong way, all my beautiful children that you reference will never have to read how their father didn't claim them. You should be worried about the narrative you two need to create to distract yours from dealing with that reality. If you want to know the truth, subscribe to my OnlyFans, sending peace and blessing to you both. Larissa." The shade. The shade in here is just too shady. I can't see it. It's shady. The shade is shady in here, guys. There's too much shade in here. See, this is what happened. This is what happens. This what gets to happen. This what gets to happen. And this is what I mean by brothers simping. Malik Beasley, you should have stayed your ass at home. You was married already with a woman who birthed you children. She wasn't trying to leave you, brother. You had stability. See, my thing is, what I think a lot of black men don't understand, well, maybe just a lot of men that cheat in general, especially when they have families at home. What you guys don't cherish, what you should cherish, but what you don't cherish is respect. It's peace of mind. And maybe it's because you guys are young. Maybe because you guys are young. But the peace of mind and the calm that a woman can bring to a man is a calmness and a peace that you can never find anywhere else. Take it from me. You just won't find it anywhere else. And you guys take it for advantage. When they commit to you, when they submit to you in the way that they do, and they dedicate their lives to you, the relationship, and the family, and the marriage, basically they're waving the white flag. And they saying, I surrender. Lead me. You're my man. You're the head of the family. I'm going to trust you to make decisions that are sound for us. And that doesn't mean that you're not going to fight. Doesn't mean that you're not going to get into it. You're going to have your disagreements and ups and downs. Of course you are. You got to expect that. But at the same time, you got to know when to hold and you got to know when to fold. And a lot of you guys in the NBA, a lot of you celebrity black men who have multi-million dollars, y'all too do feel like, just like some women feel when they in their prime, when they young and their body is popping and it's tight, asses is fat. You guys too feel, because you're in your prime and you have all of these resources, that, hey, I'm missing out on something if I settle down with this woman. Or this woman might have given me kids and she's getting on my nerves now, or she's not listening to me, or it's not going as smoothly as it once did in the beginning. Now we're going through our little rough patch. I want to find better now, because you want to get over, you don't want to go through the ups and downs. You just want it to be bliss all of the time. And let me tell you something about life and relationships. Them shits are never just smooth sailing all the time. You're going to have to go up and down on them up and down waves. But normally what happens when you go through the up and down and you go through the storm and it's raining, it's beating on your ship, and you got to close the hatch and you got to hold on for dear life. 2 hours later, you come up above deck and you look around, you see a whole rainbow, the sun is out, you see the beach, you see a place where you can dock, and you like, yo, this is beautiful. It was worth it going through that storm to now be able to experience this. And listen, it took me a long time to realize that. It took me a long time to realize that any relationship that's worth anything, that means anything to you, that has real validity to it, that y'all both want to fight for it and want to be in it and want to have something long term, because y'all both got to want the shit. But anything that's real like that, you can't just walk away from. You can't just decide to say, yo, I want to cheat and then come back and apologize. Because with some women, once they give you their all and then you violate that trust, you never get it back. Some women you could. Some women, look, you buy them a Birkin bag. You know what I mean? You buy them a Apple Watch, some Uggs or something like that, something that normally women like, they want, you can, or not even something that's you need to purchase. Maybe they just want your time. Maybe they just want to see you change. You know what I mean? The things you used to do, you no longer do, and that's enough for them. It varies from women to women, but some women, once you cross that line, because they've submitted and committed everything, they've depleted themselves to you and they were willing to do it at all costs. And once you cross them and made them feel a certain way, you can never get them back. Believe me, I've experienced it. I've experienced it. Maybe about a decade ago, there was a woman that was in my life that I wanted to be with. I wasn't mature enough. I cheated. I thought that I didn't need to, respect her time. I didn't need to respect her because she was committed to me. I knew she wasn't going nowhere. And I just took her for granted. And that's just me being 100% honest and real. But I knew, like, that woman right there, if I would have just did what the hell I needed to do over a decade ago, that more likely than not could have been my wife, or should have been my wife. So I've literally walked in those shoes before that Michael Beasley is walking in right now. I wasn't married to her, but we damn near was married. So I'm telling you, fellas, when you got a good woman, when you got somebody that's good, when you got somebody that's down for you, that commits to you like that that marries you, has your kids. You can't do him like that, man. So let me read you Michael Beasley's apology to his wife. Again, it's the lamest shit that I think a man could ever do. You keep your personal experience and your personal life off social media. That's why I don't even like putting up photos. If I'm dealing with any woman, I'm not going to put any pictures or anything like that up on public display because I want my personal experience to remain my personal experience. But this guy cheats with Larissa Pippen. She goes at his baby mom's, rashes her. He puts out a tweet apologizing to his baby moms and his wife. Like, look, who is his wife? Excuse me. Trying to write the shit, but let me read what he wrote. He said, first of all, he didn't even spell I wanna right. Okay? He spelled wanna, W-A-N-A. And it's W-A-N-N-A. But I'll digress. I'm not going to hold him to a spelling bee right now. So he said, I want to say sorry for putting you in the situation you were put in the last few months. My head wasn't where it's supposed to be. I was looking for more when it was right here the whole time. I'm telling the world, you, that there's nobody like you for me. For the record, I was the one who ended my last relationship off the fact that there is no one like. I'm looking for the rest of it. That was it. So that was it. And in the actual photo, it's a picture of Malik Beasley and his lady. And apparently she just gave birth to their child. And, he's there. And, and listen, man, my thing is, like these guys just don't learn. But then again, it's you gotta appreciate good women. You know what I mean? You gotta appreciate good women. And it's easier to date, I think, most of the time, good women when you have large finances, when you have means, like a Michael Beasley, because women want stability. At the end of the day, as much as women want to say that they're independent, they don't need a man. At the end of the day, they want to be stable. Nothing makes a woman feel more like a woman when they have a man that can hold things down. I'm not saying that you don't got to help each other out from time to time, but they like a man that's a man that's going to be a provider, a man that's going to take the reins and say, look, I got this. There's nothing wrong with that. And my thing is, I would love to be that kind of guy, but it's just hard to find a woman that's worth that, because it's the quality is just not existing today. Again, maybe it's the circles that I'm running in. You see what I'm saying? But shit, I don't think I'm that bad of a guy, but for whatever reason, I just think, I just got a bad luck of the draw at the moment. But that's Michael Beasley. I don't know why he would want to sleep with a Larissa Pippen. Like, you got a whole young baby mama wife at home. Like, why wouldn't you want to be with the mother of your children? Like, she already had children with a whole nother man. Her children are damn near grown. What's she gonna offer you? Some ass? You can get ass from your wife. Like, why would you want to step outside your marriage to be with an older woman? What could she give you that your wife couldn't give you? Your wife gives you a peace of mind. Your wife is the one raising your kids. Your wife is the one that's holding you down and holding your family down. She's your backbone. She's the one that you should be able to go to and be like, babe, deposit this check into my account. Like, shit like that. You couldn't go to Larissa Pippen like that. Again, fellas, y'all gotta value women that give y'all peace of mind. As you get older, take it from me, as you get older, that's one of the fundamental things that is a requirement for me. A peace of mind. Happiness. I don't want to argue. I don't want to think that you're doing something. I just want to believe whatever the fuck you tell me. You say you at the store, you at the store. That's it. I want to trust. You can't have that kind of relationship if you out putting your penis in other women. That's how you lose the trust. That's how you lose the connection. Ultimately, that's how you lose the women. And if you don't want to lose your woman, then you got to learn how to keep your penis in your pants. I don't think that that's too hard to understand at the end of the day. I really don't. But one of the most interesting things that I saw the other day was a podcast that Dwyane Wade and Gabrielle Union was on together. Both of them. Now, they was on this particular podcast. And they were talking about their marriage. Talking about their relationship. Talking about the dynamic of it. And again, this goes this goes right up to right into the bread basket of what I just got finished talking about, simping. In alpha male masculinity. It's just not a type of energy that's accepted amongst women anymore. That's what I'm noticing. Women can say all they want. Yeah, I want a masculine man. I want a man to lead. I want a man to take control. They don't. This society has bred them to believe that they don't need us. At least within the black race. Our women have been brainwashed to believe that they don't need a man. There's no value of a black man in our race. Because the minute they say they don't need a man, they're telling you don't have any value. No other race of women say that they don't need their men. That's lunacy. That's an irrational thing to say. One would say, right? That's an irrational thing to say. But then again, I've met a woman that told me, like, yo, she don't want to be married. She just want to have a kid. You could come or go. Like, I won't. She told me, I won't even put you on child support. I just want to have a baby. Minus the man. I want to raise the child by myself. I want to raise the child on my own because I really don't see the worth or the need for my child to have a father. I can be everything to that child. You'd be surprised how many women have adopted that stance. It's a very toxic one. It's a very counterproductive one, at least for our race, because we see every day the residual effects of not having fathers in homes where children are present. We see the dynamics that a father plays in a child's life. We see the dynamics that a man plays in a woman's life. And they're needed. They need to be together. They need to coexist. But also, again, this is the dilemma in the conflict that we have between black men and black women. We're constantly at wit's end, battling each other on power, leverage. And until that changes, we're going to constantly have that dynamic. Now, in Dwyane Wade and Gabrielle Union situation, Dwyane Wade openly admitted that, hey, I don't run this relationship. She run it. I don't got nothing to say. He don't got nothing to say about nothing in that relationship. She run it. That's what he said. I mean, but then again, it makes sense though. This is the same man that left his baby mama, who he had 2 kids by, I believe, and then got with Gabrielle Union And they were dating for a while. They had a break moment where I guess they took some time off from dating each other. And in that span between they had that break, he then slept with another woman and got her pregnant. And again, this man, hundreds of $1 million in the account. But yet he still couldn't have enough control and respect for Gabrielle Union. If he loved her at the time, they weren't married, but if you loved her like you say you love somebody, you're not going to go and get somebody else pregnant because y'all on break. Like, you don't stop loving somebody because you're on break. Like, I'm going to be 100% honest here. I'm going to be 100% honest. Me and my ex may never speak another day in our life. But you don't just not love somebody after spending 5 years with them. That love just it's not just something you just turn off and you just, yo, we ain't together now, so all that love, all them years, all the memories, all the moments, all the love making, all that just goes out the window. That don't just go out the window like that. Let's be honest and fair. Let's be real. Come on, stop. Who we fooling here? But Dwyane Wade still went, got another woman pregnant, came back to Gabrielle Union, told her, like, look, when we was on break, I had to get this shit off. And I don't know what the arrangement was, but she took him back and they got married. But even then, I even knew that the relationship wasn't a normal functioning relationship where he was the alpha male or the head of his relationship. Because he never seemed like the head of any relationship. But then again, I was like, well, if she took him back, he gonna be kissing her ass for the rest of his life if he marries her. And surely did, he married her. And surely did, they had a baby. They recently had a baby girl, I believe. So does it surprise me now that he comes out and he's like, well, look, man, I'm basically catering to anything she needs. Anything she says goes. I'm looking to develop her growth. She had a life before me, so I need to ensure that I'm not stopping that. And I just want to be here to contribute to her growth and her elevation. And as a man that's an alpha male, as a man that's a masculine male, I'm saying, well, hold on. Didn't you have a life before you met her? Didn't you play almost 20-something years or close to 20-something years in the NBA? You're the one who also amassed 100 or something million in your bank account. They didn't just deposit it into your account. But because you cheated on her, she decided to demasculate you. Emasculate you. And you went for it. You went for it because you're a weak man. You went for it because you knew that, hey, you can find another woman, sure, to be with. Plenty of women would line up to sleep with Dwyane Wade. But you wouldn't be able to find somebody of her caliber. And you knew she wouldn't be going for the shit if there wasn't some trade-off in something. So she emasculated you, cut your balls off, and she makes a decision and leads your relationship in your household. So it makes sense now that I see that your son, Dwyane Wade, who's now not Zion. Yeah, is it Zion? Zeta. Whatever the boy is that now want to be a girl. I know whatever that name is. Excuse me, part of my French. I forget the name. But it makes sense now that you would see that boy out at the gay parade in the goddamn dress and Gabrielle Union holding him up in the crowd, taking a picture with his a dress on, and he got a manicure, and Gabrielle Union holding him up, smiling. Going to get a pedicure with this little boy. Going to Bath and Bodies with this little boy and feminizing him. I did a video like a month ago. No, hell no. Maybe 2-3 months ago. With Dwyane Wade went on a podcast with several other former athletes. And he said how when he was a kid, he used to wear his sister's clothes. I said, well, okay, that makes sense. It makes sense now that your son gay. Your son is trans now. He want to identify as a woman because now you feel you want to live vicariously through your son. What was even more alarming was that Dwyane Wade even said when his son was like 2 or 3 years old, he told Gabrielle Union, like, yo, he might be gay. Now, excuse me, I don't know what a 2 or 3-year-old could do to make me say as a father that, you know what, my 2 or 3-year-old could be gay. Like, I don't know what 2 or 3-year-old know. I don't think a 2 or 3-year-old even know if they're conscious of what they're eating. Or even know what day it is. Let alone their sexuality. Like, what could a 2 or 3-year-old do to make a father say to his wife, who is not the mother of that boy, that, hey, hold on. This boy might be gay when he get older. That was very disturbing to me. And then I said, well, maybe they've been grooming that boy since he was a very small boy to be a goddamn woman. And then I thought about it. I'm like, well, now that Dwyane Wade's coming out saying, well, Gabrielle Union, she makes all the decisions in my life. She makes all the decisions for my family. In my household, she's the boss. She wears my pants too. I actually got to put on her skirt sometimes because she tells me what to do. It makes sense now that little boy get to run the way he run around here, 11, 12, 13 years old, talking about he want to get a sex change. And the father is willing to co-sign this shit. But you can only do that if you had a woman that was running your home. You can only do that if you don't have no masculinity in that house. That's the only way you can do that. Ain't no stepmother is going to advocate for no boy to be up in Bath and Bodies with her, smelling perfume and shit, and trying on women clothes and blouses and shit, and smelling candles all goddamn day. And the daddy ain't looking for his son. Like, where the hell my son at? Why is he with his mom every goddamn day? Ain't no masculine man gonna do that. Ain't no masculine man gonna do it. So I said it makes sense now. Makes sense now. This is the way of the world. This is the way of demasculating men, especially black men. They want you to be as docile and as feminine as possible when dealing with women. So they can walk on your ass, they can step on your head, they can tell you which way to go, do what the hell they want you to do, and you don't got a goddamn say so in it. And they cool with it. But when they meet men like me, when they meet an A1 alpha, when they meet a masculine man like me, they want to fight me. Oh, you too controlling. No, I ain't controlling. I'm just a goddamn man. And ain't nothing wrong with being a man. Ain't nothing wrong with telling your ass no. You can't. No, you won't. No, I will not accept that. No, you can do that. No, you can't say that. The minute you start saying shit like that to a woman that wants to control you, that wants to be the alpha and the alpha and the fucking beta. She wants to be you and somebody else on top of that, and control everything that goes on in your home. The minute you tell her, no, that's not going to be the setup here, I'm staying in this boat. There's only one captain seat. You ever go on a boat? You only got one captain seat. Ain't two. There's only one captain seat. You ever drive a car? Ain't but one steering wheel. It ain't a steering wheel and a half. It ain't two steering wheels. It's only one steering wheel. Somebody got to be behind that motherfucker. I'm just saying, with me, I'm driving all day. You're not driving. In a relationship with me, the women will never drive. I'm driving. I'm going to drive the relationship. Take it as you feel. But I'm not going to be led by no woman. Now, we can make decisions together. We can come together, bring things to the table, and have rational conversations and decide what we can decide together, what we feel is the most reasonable and most logical situation and solution to things. Of course, I'm all for that. I'm going to make that last decision. I got that. I got that. I got that. Ain't no compromising with that. But see, men today are so damn scared to say anything like that because they're afraid they'll lose their woman. Because there's a beta male around the corner that's willing to get on his knees and lick her boots and lick her ass whenever she needs him to do it, just to be in her good graces. And I tell men all the time, a woman is not going to respect a man until he shows some backbone. Until he steps to her as a man and approach her like a man, she's not going to respect you. Period. It's not a hard thing to understand. It don't take rocket science to understand that. Women know men that they need to respect and know when they need to fall in line. They do it all the time. I've met women that I was with in relationships that understood. Yeah, he ain't gonna go for it. That's my man, though. You see what I'm saying? But he ain't gonna go for that. He ain't gonna go for that. Their girlfriend can tell her whatever she want. Listen. Her girlfriend can tell her whatever she want to tell her. She got to come home to me. She got to deal with me. She got to lay in the bed with me. You ain't laying in the bed with your girlfriend. And that's what women got to understand. When you committed to the degree of such as marriage or a real monogamous, strong, functional, positive relationship, when you guys genuinely love each other, when you genuinely working with each other, and y'all equal to each other, these things don't got to be said. They just understood. And I understand now the dynamics of Dwyane Wade's relationship. Gabrielle Union runs your shit. I understand that. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that black men feel they can't even speak up when they worth $100 million. They got $100 million in the account. But because you cheated on this woman and you feel like you love her so much and you didn't want to lose her, she said, well, give me your balls and I'll think about being with you. She said, let me put them balls in the basketball hoop. Let me see if I can hit a 3-pointer with them balls in his basketball hoop. I'll think about giving them back to you when you're 80, when you can't use them. But I'm gonna run this house. I'm gonna run this marriage. And listen, if that works for them, have at it. But if that works for y'all, I just don't want people that are in relationships like that come tell me that how I'm moving and my shit is wrong. You don't then get to tell me that, yo, you need to let the women have some control. You need fuck out of here. So I really don't get Dwyane Wade's logic and a lot of the things that he's doing, because you got young boys who are going to be young men, who are going to be grown men, and you're going to have these young girls out here take advantage of them. Your young sons are not going to meet Gabrielle Union. You see what I'm saying? They're growing up in a time where women are worse than men. They don't believe in monogamy. They don't believe in commitment like that. They trying to live their best life. So them going from man to man or being non-committal, most women don't want to commit today. You go on them dating websites, that's a fucking front. That's a facade. Those women are not trying to commit to nothing. They trying to commit to some dick, some new men, new experiences, new dick. Most of the women on them dating sites, how everybody on that dating site, on these dating sites, single? Somebody lying. Somebody lying. You talking about everybody on them dating sites is single? Or y'all in relationships, but y'all trying to get something on the side? Let's be honest here. Listen, man. I just think like, man, listen, man. We as alpha men, we need to have a space to be able to be who we need to be and not feel like we need to be ridiculed or be ashamed of being who we are. If you're an alpha male, if you're a man that's not going to go for any kind of bullshit from women and take any bullshit from women, yo, it's nothing wrong with that. You unfortunately, like me, you'll have to wait a little bit longer to meet your mate. You see what I'm saying? Because the one that you're compatible with is just not outside, not around the corner, not going to be accessible to you readily. So you're just going to have to bypass all of this feminism and, women empowerment type mentalities. But you'll eventually meet a woman that's like-minded, you see what I'm saying, like you, that feels like she doesn't need to dominate you or challenge your role as a man. And that's all it really is at the end of the day. Men, we don't want to be challenged by a woman. We don't want our role to be something that got to be in debate every damn day. Like if I say, well, this is what it is, this is what it is. That's it. Is no need to challenge me. And I think women don't get that. Y'all don't understand that. It's not about us feeling like we need to dominate you or tell you what to do or control you or be your father. It's nothing like that. It's about you accepting our role, right? And it's about respect. If you don't have enough respect for me, then you can't accept me as me being a man either. On top of that, those shits go hand in hand. You can't separate the two. And I think for the most part, if we can just figure that thing out, you'll have a lot more prominent, successful relationships between black men and black women that are functional. Because a lot of our shits are very dysfunctional. A lot of our relationships are not even relationships. They're situations that feel like relationships. But in all reality, they're not grounded on anything that's really real. And, I just want men to understand there's nothing wrong with having your standards. There's nothing wrong with having your boundaries. And there's nothing wrong with being demanding of what you want and what you're not going to do and what you will put up with. That's all I'm saying. At the end of the day. So, we'll see what happens with that and how that goes. But listen, I want to thank everybody for listening to this particular podcast. This is the very first one on the channel. Many more to go. Remember, the podcast will be Tuesday and Friday, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. That's going to be the time the podcast will be going up. And, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think on the various topics that I've discussed here this evening. And if you differ, I'm fine with that too. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.